Welcome to our last panel. Welcome to our last panel. Thank you to OneOf for an incredible 2 days of programming and experiences. This is our last panel because we saved the best for last. We're about to meet two incredible people on this incredible journey, Diana Sinclair and Pat Houston. We're going to talk about the epic Whitney Houston drop, but to set the stage and give you some context of the emotional journey we're all about to go on together, check out this video.
Being able to collaborate with her music and her family really transformed the way that I saw her in her music videos. I feel more connected to the person that she was. Some of the messages that I put across in my artwork as well, they're very similar. Working with her voice on something like this really tied me to that time and her in a way that I wouldn't have had before. I try to show Black people in beautiful light because when I was younger, I didn't feel like I was able to see myself enough in media. When I saw her music videos, I was happy that our artistic minds connected in that way. We had creative Black women that were not only modeling, but also styling and doing the makeup for the shoot. And to me, that's really important to make sure that we're represented not only on the camera, but also behind camera. That's something that I saw of Whitney as well. She highlighted their beauty. She made sure to surround herself with her people, which I think showed. It was really important to see how young women today still reacted to and were able to celebrate to and dance to her music, and they were loving it. I definitely had quite a few moments where I was just sitting there like, wow, this is, we're really working with the Whitney Houston. We're trying to carry on her legacy.
Let's give these incredible panelists a huge round of applause. Please come join me. Welcome, Pat and Diana. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm still actually a little emotional from that video. I'm sorry. It was really beautiful, and your words were incredible. Welcome, everyone. We are going to talk about the Whitney Houston NFT done by OneOf. In case you guys have been living under a rock, this NFT is with a song that Whitney recorded when she was 17 years old as a demo that's never been heard. So it's a pretty epic moment. So before we dive into this, I'd love to do some introductions because we know you guys from this project, but you guys have full, amazing lives and careers. But I'll kick it off just so you guys can see the example because you guys were nervous about doing this. Hi everyone, I'm Swan. I am a creator, but I spent most of my life in the corporate world at companies like Nike, Revlon, and Estee Lauder. But because of Clubhouse, I got really lucky and I get to be a creator for a living and interview incredible people like you guys. Pat.
Hi, I am Pat Houston, the executor of the Whitney Houston estate and the president and CEO of OneOf, Inc. I've had over 40 years, I'm actually giving away my age here, but I actually have 40 years experience in the industry. Prior to becoming a corporate person, I attended Gardner Webb University and Paris Institute in Paris, France. modeled for many years. And I'm here at this place right now as the executor of the estate, and I'm very happy to be here. It's on.
Okay, you're good. Just checking. My name is Diana Sinclair. I am an artist, I'm a curator, I'm an activist. I've been an artist all of my life thanks to my father and my mother fostering and helping me, pursue my dreams. I recently got into the NFT space, well not recently, now at this point. I got into it in February of this year. And since then, I have really been able to grow as an artist. I've curated several shows. One of them featured artists globally and was in New York City. We had a big public showcase with artists all over the world. After that, I was in Teen Vogue. I made the Fortune Nifty 50 list of most influential people in the NFT space. I've worked with Time Magazine for their timepieces drops and a few other really amazing projects, including this one. Yeah, this one was really amazing, and I'm really glad to be here with both of you.
Thank you for joining us. Now, this was a very highly anticipated drop. In fact, I was at a very important dinner the other night, and when the drop went live, I hid in the corner and was like leaning outside to get a signal so I could buy a piece, and I was lucky enough to get one. So I think everyone shares that excitement. But Diana, I want to start with you because I want to talk about the process of creating this beautiful piece. I mean, creating a collection about someone you've never met, especially a larger-than-life figure like Whitney Houston, what was that like? I mean, you're an accomplished, celebrated artist, but this is a whole different level.
Yeah, it really was an entire other level, and it was definitely difficult to process at first. And I think that the way that I normally process things is just dive right into the work, which is what I was able to do with this. We had, several levels to it to figure out the different tiers of the work and figure out how best to showcase Whitney and also my art. And that came together with creating work that interpreted her legacy, but also showed her, like with the photo tiers that had the actual photos of her. And obviously the unreleased track is like the most amazing thing that you can, get of Whitney from her career. I feel that's something so important to an artist, like their early work, especially when she's had such a amazing career that spans so many years. So yeah, for me, I just jumped into the work. I started creating, started listening to her music, and tried to get to know her as best as I could. Obviously that's through her family, by speaking with you, or just watching, her music videos and listening to her music and really trying to get to know her as an artist, because I feel like what you put out as an artist is really like who you are, hopefully. If you can, whatever you share, that's you. So that's how I that's how I got all of that.
That's incredible. And you went through some of the process that was different. It wasn't a pure creative process. It was a lot of studying and intaking. Emotionally, was that different?
I found myself getting pretty emotional about someone that I'd never met, which I mean, I'm a pretty sensitive person, so I wouldn't say, my mom would probably agree, I'm crying all the time and stuff like that. I'm a Pisces. But I, was listening to her music, and I was speaking to you, and, I found myself getting really attached to Whitney, and I mean, that's great because I feel like that's what makes great art, but it was definitely intense at a few moments, but that was good, and I think that fed into the work.
Now, Pat, you're on the other side of this. This is not only someone who's iconic in music history and culture, this is a loved one. What's it like to partner with somebody to tell that story of someone you care about?
You know, the NFT digital space is one thing, but being able to work with someone as young as Diana, I mean, 17 years old, Whitney was 17 years old when she recorded the song, coming from Newark, New Jersey, both of them, it's like a parallel there, you know, both having the same middle name. Whitney having the desire to always want to help others help themselves, namely young people. She established the Whitney Houston Foundation back in 1989, and for 5 years for the city of Newark, the Newark Symphony Hall, she worked with group homes and, you know, having events each year dealing with young people. So it was a no-brainer when we were introduced, and I just felt that it was the timing is everything, and it was the right moment, you know, to do something with, I'm going to call her a millennial. Yeah, it was the right moment because I don't want to start blabbering, but before Whitney passed, you know, we talked about many things that she wanted to do as it relates to music. And one of the things she wanted to do was perform in a small venue, theater style, and she wanted the, you know, and now that her legacy, we have to continue the legacy. This is a new art form, you know, for her music to be displayed, and what better way than to do it with Diana and through the NFT.
Yeah, the parallels are really powerful. We knew about the age, we knew about that fierce fighting spirit, but the same middle name? I mean, come on, guys.
Yes, timing.
I know, timing is everything. Now, Diana, you did mention something about music earlier, about listening to our tracks and how much they affected you. Can you go a little bit more into how music's impacted your work, both in this project, but possibly in your future work?
I feel like with my art in general, music has affected me, but maybe not so deliberately as making something to music, but I would like listen to music on repeat while I was creating a piece, and obviously that would influence how it would come out. And then actually through, which I feel like is actually pushing artists, sometimes in a negative way, but often in a positive way, to expand their skills. I started getting into video art, which is something that I always wanted to do. And from there, I realized that, you know, I wasn't really interested in putting out silent videos. So I think I started thinking about music. I started thinking about sound design and things like that, and in that world, and wanting to converse with musicians and, you know, learn about that side of things. But I think this project is really what pushed me to like sit down and be influenced directly by a musician, by a singer, by music and lyrics in general. And it was a hump, I'd say, that I had to get over because I'd never done anything like that. But this whole project and all of the work that I've done in this space has been about expanding and learning new things and growing as an artist. And I'm really glad to say that I think that this allowed me to do that. And I mean, her music was, I think that what's interesting about Whitney as well is her being, I think, is so integrated, especially into our culture, that we don't even really think about it anymore, if I'm fully honest. Like, it's just like you hear her music and you know it's Whitney, but it's always there. So I had to really sit down and listen to it and like dissect it in a way that, you know, was personal, because now I'm working on this project, and it was great to have that connection with music so directly And it's definitely opened me up to thinking, you know, my partner was joking around saying, you're going to do music videos after this, which I never thought I'd do. But now I'm like, maybe I will, you know, or get into doing something with other types of music. I think that has really opened that up in a way that I didn't expect.
The point you made about how her music affects culture is really salient, because you can be in the snootiest of nightclubs about every song, but when a Whitney Houston song remix comes on, every single person in that club is dancing and singing along. And these are the snootiest, pickiest people on the forefront of music, and when Whitney comes on, we all dance. Pat, what are you hoping people will take away from this collection? What do you want them to remember or learn?
She had, for me, it's all about the future generations. And for a 17-year-old to be able to elaborate and speak, you know, about her emotions, about Whitney Houston and her music, that's incredible. Diana is extremely expressive. And for a 17-year-old to be able to express herself, and at 17 being able to know what she wanted to do. And she loves her craft, as Whitney did. She loves her craft. She wears her own face, which is absolutely amazing. And the mere thought of Whitney's music, her legacy, being identified by millennials in this way is incredible. And Whitney herself, you know, in 2012, was extremely involved with Teen Summit in North Carolina. Not too many people knew that, but she was very involved with the youth, and that's one of the main things that she spoke about before she passed, the Wednesday before she passed, how excited she was for the event to happen that year. And it was to empower young people. And right now, to sit here with Diana, you know, her spirit is here, you know, because she's still empowering, which is very important to me, and definitely, you know, to Whitney. So we're very excited and very proud of Diana, and she needs no validation. I mean, she has what it takes. I mean, she came from a, I mean, and just as Whitney did with her craft, her mother gave her wings so that she could fly. And her mother, Diana's mother, has done the same thing for her. And she has not disappointed. You know, you should be very proud of yourself and where you are. You know, I think about Whitney's iconic status internationally and what she has done. Diana has done the same thing. She has international presence. You know, at 17, Whitney was Teen Magazine, 17 Magazine, Diana, Vogue Magazine, Teen Vogue Magazine. I mean, what an accomplishment, you know, so you should be very, very proud. Yeah.
I'm going to prove my point and cry on this panel.
We were all crying before this. We were like, wait, dry our eyes, dry our eyes.
Thank you. I don't even know what to say to that, but I did want to tell you, I think I might have mentioned this before, but speaking about how carrying on her legacy to the younger people and making sure that her music and her being is around on the shoot, for the Giving Flowers shoot, we had the little girl with the flowers in her afro. We had Whitney's music playing the entire time, on loop, obviously. And the little girl was really nervous at first. She was just kind of like hanging around her mom, just, you know, peeping around the corner. And the models started dancing, the older models started dancing to Whitney's music and getting, you know, just kind of like moving around a little bit. And the little girl came out and she started dancing with them and like mimicking her, you know, their moves in front of the mirror and looking at herself. And like through Whitney's music and through the, you know, the connection with the other models, the little girl was also able to open up and they were able to share a moment before even getting to the shoot, which of course then influenced the actual, you know, footage because they already felt so comfortable with one another from, you know, having that earlier moment. So I just, you know, I feel like everything that you're saying about timing and making, there's always, a right time for things, and alignment is so important. I feel like throughout this entire project, we've just seen all the moments where it's confirmed that this was right, and that, that makes me, feel so happy as an artist, as a person, and, as someone to be able to sit here with you and you. I'm sorry, I love Pat. We all love Pat. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because I felt like during the shoot as well, we were able to see that magic throughout all of it, not even when it was just on camera. So.
Well, you will inspire a lot of young people, as she did. I mean, being able and having that international presence and reciprocating it back into the community is something that Whitney did. She brought it back to the community, and that's what we're doing now, bringing it to the community. You have that platform, and it's like one moment in time, and this is your moment, and you have such incredible support, empowering you, even with the NFT. They're strongly behind you. And we're very happy to be in this place, and very happy to have partnered with you to make this happen. It's real, it's important, and we're just happy to be here.
Guys, this is why we do this. This is why NFTs exist. It's humanity, it's connectivity, it's connection, it's community. I have one last question for you guys. In all this incredible journey that you've had, what's one thing you'd like to leave to the rest of the world, to fans of Whitney? What's one message you want people to remember?
You wanna go first? That's a heavy one. I feel like there are so many things, that's why it's hard, like a million things start running through your head. I think that honestly what Pat has mentioned a lot, and what we've been talking about a lot as well, is really important, that it's so essential to make sure that we're empowering the next generation to be better than what we've done, to learn from us, to take our creativity and our resources and create more and do better. And I feel like that's what we're trying to do with this drop, with the proceeds of this drop. This is what Whitney tried to do in her life and what she successfully did in her life. And Pat's doing it right now with me, even just trying to empower me on this panel, which I really feel, and I'm really grateful for. And as I can only do it but so much right now, because if I reach down, it's only going to be like, what, 10 years old? I'm empower a 10-year-old, but even that's important. But yeah, I think that that's something that it's a huge takeaway, and also really important in the NFT space as well, because we're trying to make sure that we set up the technology and the resources and the community that will help fund the next generation of innovators and creators. So I feel like that is, incredibly important to this panel and this drop, and to Pat and me.
Ms. Houston, take us home.
Well, thank you to OneOf for the introduction. Thank you so very much. If it were not for you, we would not be here today. I mean, the partnership with you has been tremendous. Whitney's favorite song was "The Greatest Love of All." I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And the collaboration here with Diana, and could be with many other artists, and any other young person that have endeavors out there. It's very important for us adults to continue to teach responsibility, teach them in a way that they can coach themselves when they're away from us. And she is a prime example of that, I can say. And I know I'm talking a lot about Diana, but you know, Whitney's platform has been around and is strong and always will be if I have anything to do with it. Her legacy is strong. We are here to build the next generation, and if we're building it using Whitney Houston for an example, I don't think there's a better example. And then hearing this young Whitney at 17 years old and having the collaboration with this young Diana Sinclair, I mean, look out world, here we come. And thank you to the NFTs of the world, the digital space and the new technology. It's helping, you know, estates and people keep legacies alive. So we appreciate this arena right now. Yeah.
Well, guys, a huge thank you, huge round of applause. Pat Houston and Diana Sinclair.